Yeah, there ain't many teams better in the world than Mark Richards and Phillip Lopez at just filling the hole up. Put as many bags in the hole as you can.
Boy, and he is so right. Tony Smith and Jacob Trzcienski, if they want to play a dirty game, they can play a dirty game.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about Tony's bag earlier. Just playing with attitude. But that needs a heck of a player. Tony Smith finished 2022 top 5 in the world. He will be playing against Mark Richards on this end. They're going to spin for it.
Yep.
And Mark's saying, Tony, you got it.
Yeah, on this end, if you go back to 2022, this is the #1 player in the world versus the #5 player in the world.
Crowd getting fired up during the break, and here we go for the doubles championship, and the first one is in. Mark Richards, we've been talking a lot about all-time titles, right, and the all-time wins list. Mark Richards, in just his second season, tied for 4th right now in all-time wins with 11. If he were to win this one, he would break that 4th place tie with Brett Guy. Matt Guy, Brett's dad, all-time wins leader. Jamie Graham, we're talking about him, #2. Trey Birchfield, #3. And Mark Richards would be alone at #4 with a win.
And we'll start with a double 4-bagger. That's why they were 2 of the top 5 players in the world last year.
Well, and you know, I mean, this is what Mark talked about. He'll take this, right? I mean, he'll do a marathon if that's the way that Tony wants it.
100%. Like, I mean, it would favor, in my mind, Richards and Lopez. And I'm not saying that Trzcienski and Smith need to block it every round. Not saying they need to force that type of game. What I am saying is I think they need to pick and choose some battles. I'm fine at the beginning part of this game if they want to run a few bags just to make sure that they're still sharp, right? If they come out and Phillip Lopez is left and he's right and he can't find the center, you can use that opportunity and that time to take advantage of it. So I think this is a good feeling out period, at least here at the beginning of the game between both teams.
Just enough of that one to pull them both in.
Come on, brother.
Jacob Trzcienski there on the right. Such a great athlete. And Lopez knocks it in. All right, here we go, just like Mark was talking about.
16 bags thrown, 16 bags in the hole.
A perfect start so far to this one. There you see Mark Richards on the right. Michelle, we have been talking to Mark a lot, and I mean, so much strategy, so much focus. Amazing what he's done here in just a second year.
Absolutely. I was actually just checking here. I know Shelby's in the audience. We're going to get to her in a little bit. She's at every single game, he said. She doesn't ever miss one. What support system that is.
It's consistency, right? It helps. Any bit of consistency helps. When you talk about a guy that has been known for consistency, everything is the same, right? I mean, I kind of, we're kind of joking a little bit, but in the same sense, those shorts that Mark Richards is wearing have the initials of his grandmother on them. We talked about that last year when he threw his perfect game last July. He's wearing the same shorts. Everything about his preparation, mentality, rhythm is all about consistency. So to me, it makes perfect sense to have the same support system there at every single game that you play.
And we have a perfect start here to this doubles final. Routine, right? I mean, routine is just so important.
Right.
We talk about all the crossover terms in other sports, but you see that all the time in baseball and in golf and football. Guys just going through the same routine. Critical for so many athletes.
And will that be the first, quote, miss of the game? I mean, you can't call it a miss yet on the first bag.
By the way, speaking of athletes, Jacob Trzcienski there on the right. He's out of Northeast Massachusetts, about 30 miles away from Boston. You talk about an athlete, small but mighty. Football player, quarterback, also played defense, and was an incredible baseball player in high school. He actually set his school record in batting, hit .523 his senior year as a baseball player.
And now he's also, he trains as a fighter in addition to playing cornhole. So, I mean, he's also got that level of mentality of, you know, when we're here, I mean, it's a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a throwdown. I mean, maybe off the boards we can be friendly,
God.
but this is something.
My bad.
And you can see some emotion there. He's going to wear that emotion on his sleeve.
Yeah, unhappy with this round as Lopez just calmly spins it in.
My bad.
Trzcienski now just trying to
Oh, is this
limit
bag
the damage.
Is this bag going to stay? That's the bag I'm watching this last throw.
Can this be a side door and one? Just going to slide it up, and JT's bag's going to hang on the side.
I like what you said though. Side door and one. Maybe if you go hard up the center, maybe bunch those, hit those bags a little bit, and then go in. Does it fall in?
Just enough to nudge it off.
That was ugly.
All that for a point.
So that's a lot of work right there for a point.
They have destroyed this perfect game that we were so happy about, Jeff. We were so happy about our perfect game.
It was so pretty for a while until it wasn't.
First 24 bags of the game thrown were in the hole.
Speaking of athletes, I mean, just another example. Tony Smith there on the left. He was a varsity golfer in high school and still loves the sport. Tony he's like a lifer in the sport of cornhole, or will be anyway. I know he's young. He started playing at the age of 4. And who gets their kids into cornhole that young? 4 years old.
Now, what does Smith do here? Does he maybe try a roll drag? Does he try to start here and roll with it and see if he can get both? Could go airmail, maybe?
Goes at it hard.
Okay.
Wow.
I like
2 for 1 there.
Yeah, good push right there. And he kind of gets a bully action of that bag out of the way. Really impressive shot.
See if he can pay it off here.
Let's go, boy. Come on.
Yeah, and spins it in. He knew as soon as it left his hand, he liked it. Couple of points and a 2-1 lead.
Lead change for Smith and Trzcienski. These two in particular. There's been a big adjustment by Tony Smith recently. I would say 6 months to a year ago, there was a span in which he was making a lot of deep runs in tournaments, and he ended up with a lot of 2nd, 3rd, and 5th place finishes, right? And a pattern started to build, and that was worrisome, right? Because does it become a mental block? Does something happen when we get into the tournaments? Are you fatigued? I know this sounds silly to say when it comes to cornhole, but there's both a physical and mental level of fatigue that it takes to do the same thing 1,000 times in one day. So whatever Tony Smith has done, a switch has been flipped in his head over the past month and a half. We saw him at a shootout. He won a single shootout. Him and Trzcienski had a strong run in doubles at the first National of the Year. Smith is playing at a really high level right now, and something is different. He's really mastered that mental side.
And this is where that crossover mentality of golf really has helped him as well. Again, there's Tony Smith on the left, Mark Richards on the right. Earlier we were talking about Shelby making the travels with Mark pretty much wherever he goes and keeping that routine. And Michelle in the audience right now with Shelby. I'm sure she's a little nervous right now.
Yeah, hey Shelby, Mark was saying you come to every single event with him. What's it like traveling all over doing this?
It kills me to not be able to go, so I can't imagine not being here. I love him so much, and like I said, I just feel like we're kind of hand in hand, like we're partners in crime, so I can't imagine not being here with him.
But with that said, how hard is it to sit here and watch this?
It is awful. I feel like I have all the faith in the world in him. I know he can handle it, but me, myself, emotionally cannot.
Totally get it. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, we were ironically just talking about this earlier this weekend because of all people, you had a chance to experience this. It's hard to watch a family member. You got a chance to watch your dad.
Yeah. Dad was a former ACL pro. No offense, the old man. He was no Mark Richards, though, right? It's a different type of,
level.
A little bit different level,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's hard to watch because you have no control over it, right? You're just sitting there. I mean, you know what needs to get done, and sometimes in the game of cornhole, it's like you've thrown a slide shot 1,000 times. You've made, 10,000, 100,000 times. Like, you know how to do it, and so it's so simple to coach. Like, I draw on my telestrator here. I'm just like, yeah, he just needs to do this. It's not that easy to do that, right? There's an element to having to actually execute, and when you're watching, you don't get that same level.
And, you know, it also has got to add
Come
to
on,
the
bro.
dynamic as well. The
Come
fact
on.
that he's just got that proverbial bullseye on his back, right? I mean, everyone wants to beat him.
Right, he
So
absolutely
difficult.
does.
And Lopez finishes it off. Boy, this end, they have been, I think have they been perfect just about in this end, right?
Yeah, except that one bad round and
Yeah.
that second round when they absolutely ruined our perfect game we were so excited about.
Still 2-1. If you're just tuning in, congratulations earlier to Alex Rawls winning the singles title. First ever national victory for the 19-year-old. Speaking of having a target on your back, I think the surprise of the day so far has got to be Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain. The way that they lost to Tony Smith and Jacob Trzcienski in the semifinals. Again, you talk about, you know, having that bullseye, everyone trying to beat you. JT and Tony came out angry in that matchup. Shut them out.
Yeah,
Surprising.
Angry is a good way to put it.
Never end.
They were motivated.
And I really think, Trey, that puts into perspective and maybe even greater significance what Mark was able to do last year. Just like Justin Burton Jr., right? Came in, maybe a lot of people didn't know his name, swept the national, now they know you. And to be able to do that when everyone comes after you, and the way that Mark did that all of 2022, so impressive. The Mike's hard 4-bagger.
Funny enough, when that end of that last round, Tony Smith said to his player, Mike, he mumbled under his breath, he said, "This game may never end." These guys are ready here. I mean, these guys are ready, and you got to be built. And this is what I'm talking about right here, right? The key to this game is in these rounds. We just saw a lot of bags in the hole, but there's going to be rounds like this where a bag ends up in front. If Mark Richards and Phillip Lopez want to win, Phillip Lopez has to keep doing that. He has to be able to go through that block with ease and say, I don't even care, I'm not worried about it, because, like I said in the past, the dirtier that this game gets, the messier the board is, the more it's going to benefit and favor Trzcienski and Smith.
Final bag for Lopez this round, and just gets it to fall in. A little sigh of relief there for Lopez Jr. That was a smart move by Jacob Trzcienski. Phillip Lopez made it look easy to just push through that bag, but there was a little bit of a point on that bag that was showing towards that front end, and a lot of times that can end up deflecting your bag.
Yes.
So you got to go right at that point and be so just perfect with your shot. Lopez made it look easy.
Yeah, I call it a V block. At that point will deflect so easily. So you have to be dead center.
And now Mark Richards leaving a little bit short for Tony to look at. Now a little bit of a side-by-side action.
Same story though on this end, and now Richards goes with the airmail drag.
And Tony trying to clip it, put them both in, but first one there on that front end will probably go in. The other one standing on its head on the back of the board.
And he pushes that one a little bit left. Ooh, Smith grabbed a little bit, and you say he's frustrated because now that the opportunity is at least there. Does Richards go after it?
Just kind of bangs Tony's up. I thought he might try and grab that corner maybe and pull it in.
I did too, but I think the reason he went with the airmail there is because he said a couple things can happen. One, I could go with the airmail and drag my own bag. Unlikely, but I could, right? That would be a positive outcome. Or, kind of like what we saw in Tony Smith in the first semifinal, I could maybe hit an and one. I could hit the back lip, knock Tony's bag off, and go in. Those are two positive outcomes, right? The third being I hit the airmail, still great. Obviously, he didn't hit any one of those three. He went off the back of the board.
The and one is so rare, right? It's like an inside the park home run in baseball. And now we've seen two tonight, so now everyone thinks you can do it? It's just that easy,
right.
huh?
Yeah. I promise you, it is not easy.
It is so
not
difficult.
Easy. Tony Smith right now has thrown 24 bags and has made 22 of them.
Just a second ago, you saw Phillip Lopez tap his head. Again, a lot of non-verbal communication between these two players. They both have earbuds, some music that they're listening to, and they almost kind of act like pitcher and catcher sometimes. JT just misses it off to the right.
My bad, boy.
Lopez hits it clean.
It's a big bag for Trzcienski. Oh, he misses again. This is in for 5.
If he gets it in, we'll have a lead change. Can't quite hit it, misses off to the left.
All those nice, pretty double 4-bagger rounds get ruined pretty quick with what was that? A 4-on-1 or a 2-on-5, whatever it was.
I think it was a 5-2 and a 3 to make it a 4-4 match. Look at that bag by Mark. Just floats and spins through the air.
Tony Smith doing some work right there to take a little bit of time.
That's a beautiful bag too. Just such a high spin rate. Just flips it.
Yeah,
Look at the revolutions on that bag.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, Tony Smith, a very high spin rate bag. Mark's is very flat. I'd say a medium spin rate, medium RPM. I mean, it moves up. It moves throughout the air, but it's not like Tony Smith's.
That is in, and I'm telling you what, there's just something majestic about watching guys from 27 feet away just spinning it in and sliding up the board. Another perfect round on this end to keep it 4-4.
26 out of 28 bags for Tony Smith.
Incredible. 27 feet from tip to tip between the boards. So you add the distance from the tip of the board up to the hole. You're looking at 33 feet from hole to hole.
God damn.
And that is a miss right there on the left. And the reason it's such a bad miss is because it's also now a bumper for your opponent, right? When we talk about the size of the hole, we've talked about this before, Jeff, but that 6-inch hole with a bumper now becomes that almost like a 9-inch hole, because if Phillip Lopez misses here, it may ricochet off and actually go in.
Damn.
Trzcienski trying to collect both those in. Instead, that one just hanging a little bit low and left, and Lopez sneaks past it. So can JT clip this one?
Yeah, you see
two?
Yeah, I see the baby step out, trying to get a better angle.
And he does. Just gets 2 to drop in. So it will be a couple of points for Lopez on his end and a 6-4 lead.
That was a big collect by Trzcienski. So many times we see that one mistake just snowball into big points, but he was able to limit it there.
From 4-1, now 6-4. Advantage of Lopez Jr. and Mark Richards.
Ooh.
Bunch up on that front side. Tony just taps the pile. Looks like they want to go.
Man, what is Richards? I kind of like.
Should I try to roll?
Like that block behind here.
Just kind of get on top of it?
I try to roll it.
All right, there you hear the call from Jacob Trzcienski down to Tony. Wants the roll back, loads it.
It works.
Short, but a couple do drop in.
Lost a timeout. Shot clock violation.
You can hear the announcement here in the arena. That was a shot clock violation, so a loss of a timeout for JT and Tony Smith.
Come on.
Oh, what a split by Tony Smith.
Get hot, boy.
Had a really
Get hot.
small window to go through there, but he goes through effortlessly, gets over on that slick side, flips it over. Look at that window that he had, Jeff. Perfect.
I mean, literally just a few inches.
Right. Any more left, he's sitting in front, bunched up with the other bags to the right, maybe even off the board. Great shot.
That's the thing here, right? The level of execution by these top pro players. I mean, it's literally just a couple of inches. Ties the game at 6. Again, our pro doubles final here in Erie, Pennsylvania. 2023 Cornhole Mania. Second national of the year. Second of 4.
Now can Trzcienski cut around? Oh, he's going to sit in front. Not terrible.
Tried sitting.
Ooh, he said go up.
Yeah. Mark just gave him the thumbs up. Big deep breath for Lopez. Goes way up top and way too deep.
Ooh, yeah. He really wanted to go deep there. I mean, he wanted
Come on,
he
bro.
wanted to hit that backside, but man, that was long.
9-6. Great crowd here in downtown Erie. Beautiful look at the main court. Now, Tony Smith, such an analytical player. You see Tony again on the left. I mean, literally, I've had conversations with him, and he is just in his brain constantly thinking, literally bag for bag for bag. What is he going to do? And that has got to come from his dad. His dad is actually a nuclear technician and manages control of the entire power grid, basically, in the area up in northeast Connecticut where they live. It's got to be where he gets it from.
Saying it runs in the family.
Yeah, it's like you with your engineering brain.
9-6. Oh, and that's a little bit left. All right, doors open now. Phillip Lopez. Round now favors him, and I don't know if he.
If it was intentional, it's a heck of a shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it was, though.
His reaction tells me he didn't like it, and I'm not sure why he didn't like it. I kind of like it a lot.
Yeah, and it works. Forces JT now deep and right. And now Lopez with a big opportunity here. Potentially +4 here in the round as he cleans that up. Still 2 bags left. Yeah, unless Jacob Trzcienski wanted to get completely aggressive and airmail to try and drag one in, which he's not going to do. Now Phillip's got a chance at 4.
Yeah, in for 4.
And a lead change if he can get it. Just drips in on that left side. And it's a 10-9 lead now for Richards and Lopez.
$11 points away from another national doubles title for Mark Richards and Phillip Lopez. Of course, they won the 2022 ACL Final Chase last year.
Well, we heard from Mark Richards when he was talking to Michelle just before this one started. He was aware of the bag change by Tony and by Trzcienski, knowing they were going with a little bit faster bags and thinking that this was going to be a marathon. And sure enough, this is exactly what Mark was talking about. This is a battle. These guys are all so good.
And now can Smith collect it? If he can collect that bag right here and the one in his hand, he'll just limit it to 2 points.
Not bad, boy.
Gets the corner and pulls it in. That will limit it to 2 like you were just talking about. That will make it 12-9. And we've got a media timeout. What a match going on for our doubles final here in Erie. All right, 12-9 after the media timeout. Lopez and Richards. This one has not been more than 3 points advantage either way so far. Back and forth we go. Earlier in the semifinals, we heard from Mark Richards talking about how media timeouts are new this year here in the sport of cornhole, and how proud he was of he and Phillip to maintain their focus after that long media timeout. And they're going to try and do it again here in the finals.
A beautiful reset right there. Takes position of the center of the board, does Trzcienski. Lopez handles it. Let's see if he'll do it again. He's deeper this time. He's in the hole, which is totally fine.
Oh, Lopez makes it interesting, kind of brings it back in play a little bit.
Now, how aggressive is Lopez at going after this is the question. I think he's content. Just say fine. If you earn it, if you go in for 2, you can take your points.
Yeah, you can see by his reaction, he's like, it's okay. I'll take it. And sure enough, he's going to give up 2, so it's back to a 1-point match. Lopez still stewing a bit about that last shot. Well, with all the cornhole accolades that we have talked about with Mark Richards, while we've got time, let's talk about wiffle ball. I'm not kidding. He's a pro or a former pro wiffle ball player. He's a pitcher.
Anything Mark Richards is just one of those guys, you know?
Yeah,
just one of those
he's
guys.
a world champion at everything.
He just picks it up. He's like, you know what? I'm going to play this from now on. And good for him. He found something he can do like that. Now he's making some money. He's making some money.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. He and I were just talking before the match. I said, was there ever any money at all in wiffle ball? He's no. It was just basically just for a championship.
Oh my goodness. Cold-blooded airmail. That bag wasn't completely clear of the hole. This had to be absolutely backside.
My bad, boy.
Everything he does, right?
Unbelievable. What an airmail.
14-11. Yeah, on the wiffle ball thing, just to put a cap on that, he said basically it's just a huge championship. I think he said it's about 60 teams that get together from across the country at the end of the year and play for the big wiffle ball world championship. Who knew, right?
Yeah, wrist action, right? Wrist action, it's all in the wrist.
Yeah, he said he had a heck of a knuckler. But don't we all in wiffle ball, really?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, off to the left.
And I don't believe that's collectible. It would require probably a line drive airmail from the side.
Lopez almost left that one short. A huge sigh of relief. Almost hit that dead spot on the front of the board as Jacob Trzcienski finishes up. A couple of points for Lopez. And look at this, a 5-point lead. And now the conversation starts about being close, right?
Yes. Now we're getting there, right? 5 points away. 5 points not, not as common. Like, there's a big jump between 4 and 5. 4 is pretty common. 5 has a jump, and then 5 to 6 has an even bigger jump, right? So you're thinking about it. You're flirting.
Not quite knocking on the door, but you can see it down the block.
Yes. Richards, bunching these up may not be a bad idea, but instead he gets kicked out now. Ooh, that bag moved. I was originally going to say I thought it was out of play. Is Richards going to be aggressive is the question. He is not.
Sometimes those bags, it's great. I mean, they can almost like touch and pull it back in, but it just wouldn't come down. And Tony's able to sneak that one in and leave Richards' bag just hanging in the red zone.
He
And now
gets a couple
16-13.
He gets a couple back.
That looks a whole lot different than 16-11, just mentally,
yes.
doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Tony likes that. Interesting first bag right in front of the hole as you can just hear the breathing of Lopez. Big first bag here.
Oh my gosh. Just dripped around. That was.
It's like it went through it.
Yeah. It didn't need to. Like, he could have taken both. It was essentially in, but, I mean. Did it again. Normally, I'd say that bag's as good as in, but the way these bags are just dripping around.
Hole friendly. In.
Sheesha.
And now
Put it in
again,
the hole.
we're getting down to that end. Pressure on every single bag, and it hangs on the side. And Jacob Trzcienski now is going to pick up a couple of points. It's a 1-point game.
Oh, it's a close one. National title, both teams within 6 points.
16-11. All right, Michelle has gone back to the tables. She's back with Shelby. We thought she was nervous earlier. How's she doing now?
Yeah, Shelby, I had to check back in with you. Obviously, a very close game here. How are you doing?
It's hard. I can't lie. I have all the faith in the world in Mark and Phil. I've watched them play over and over again, and I know that they know what they're doing. I know that they're talented, and I have to put my faith in that, and I know that they're going to do what they need to do.
And just breathe.
And just breathe.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Oh, that is classic. This has got to be tough to watch. A 1-point game for a national title. And again, for Mark, he would move out of that tie with Brett Guy.
4-bagger for Tony Smith and answered by Mark Richards. Man, doesn't it just feel like these guys on this end are just putting everything in the hole and it's coming down to who can score on this end?
Absolutely. Right now, it totally has that feel. See what happens this time down. All right, now some action here, huh?
Yeah, there's a great block behind. This is going to be tough for Lopez if he's going through on a push. Pretty solid. Solid. A lot of times, if it doesn't go all the way through, it gets kicked left or right. That one stayed in the center.
Missed it.
And Trzcienski, I think was he just looking to kind of go in behind it?
I
but
think he
instead
was.
it kicks left.
I think he was because he figured, hey, I can drag this on an airmail, so I still want to maintain control. So Lopez does try to go all the way through. I don't hate being like right here, right in front of Lopez.
One bag left here for each player. Oh, Trzcienski goes with the roll shot over and in. And now this becomes a big bag here for Lopez. Can he collect two? Oh my gosh, what a shot. Clutch out of the hand of Lopez Jr. It's going to end up being a wash, and it stays 16-15.
Watch this again. Beautiful jump and over. I did hear from the official, they did drop another timeout there. Took a little bit extra time, so the shot clock violation. Again, they get 4 timeouts per game that they can use, or if they go over the shot clock on one round or one particular bag, they can automatically deduct a timeout instead.
Richards just tapping Tony's bag. Keeps on that front side. And now Tony in behind Mark as his drops.
Now how aggressive is Mark?
This is his third bag. Going after is what it looked like. Knocks them both in, goes off the board, and Tony quickly steps up to the line.
Yes, if he's in here, they take the lead.
Come on. Let's go.
Spins it in.
And this can't be off the board.
And that one falls in on the front side. It was 16-11, and now all of a sudden 18-16. And this is for sure Titan bags crunch time, without a doubt, for the Pro Doubles final here in Erie.
What a block out of the gate. 3 points away from their first national doubles title as a team.
There's that roll again, kind of checks up a little bit.
Looks like Phil's gonna take a timeout.
So Philip's gonna walk down to the other end and
Tried rolling.
talk things over.
It worked out.
What's up?
So my bad on the airmail.
You're fine. I really don't want to block,
I was thinking push through.
plow through this,
Okay.
right? But that's why I want to take my time.
I like it, man.
Okay.
Come on, baby, you got it.
He said he really wants to push through. Now he's coming from this angle. That means he wants to go hard up the center and push everything in. A worst case scenario though, if you do not push this hard enough and you push these two in and you go double wide across the center with your bags, Trzcienski can block behind and now you will have to hit airmails to stay in this game. So that's the only thing I'm worried about is you don't want to knock them in and come up short. I'm fine if you want to totally come up short, but don't replace those two with your one. I think that'd be a bad shot here.
Goes at it, kind of goes a little bit left. Wow.
Just come straight through
Brings
the
them
middle
both
of it.
just to that edge of the red
They
zone.
don't have to go in right now.
And Trzcienski taps both of Lopez's in. I thought maybe that would happen. Lopez was able to push his up and in play.
They're taking some time again. He's going to take his second timeout.
This one coming down to the wire. We've talked a lot
You
about
got that
titles.
V right there.
I mean, yeah, you're talking about
Yeah.
like coming around it, yeah. Like, should I just pass through this, or should I just lay the block and let him shoot it?
I like laying the block.
I mean,
You agree?
It's the tougher shot. If I
Right.
lay the block perfectly, he's got to shoot it. Should I try? Because
You could try a slick side.
he cuts.
Right,
Should I
right,
put it like in the center, or should I really just try to stay up the middle so I take away that cut?
I like the center.
Just try to put it right up the
Yeah,
center
yeah.
to take away his cut. That's the plan to do. Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
You got 20 seconds. You got it.
There you hear it. We'll see if Lopez can execute. What terrific communication between these teammates. Third bag for Lopez.
Ooh, and that
Missed it.
missed it left because now you have the door, you have the opportunity open to clean it all up here to get out of this round, which would be huge for Trzcienski.
Goes low and hard at it and takes both of his in. Oh, what a big cleanup shot for Jacob Trzcienski. And now Lopez takes his two in And that's going to end up being a couple of points for Lopez. What a round, and we are now tied at 18.
We got a tie bag game at 18, first to 3 for a national title.
Honors for Richards. Just goes right into the open board now for Tony Smith. Again, talked a lot about career titles for Tony Smith there on the left and his partner Jacob Trzcienski. They both do have career wins, so they're on the list. But this would be the first national for either one of these players. What a moment here in Erie.
Both players locked in. In for a 4-bagger. This has got to stay on the board at a minimum, and of course, it's in the hole.
Let's go.
Back to the other end, and this is where things have been real interesting. Trzcienski's ready to go, but Lopez actually with the honors. For just a split second, I thought JT was going to fire it.
That would be a bad mistake.
Yeah, at this point it would be.
A very bad mistake.
It goes right in front of the hole. So already action in a tie game. Trzcienski, big shot, collects them both. And Lopez now hanging there, that short front left side. 2 bags left in his hands. Turns it a bit.
Oh, and it stays a little bit short.
Can Lopez grab this still, Trey?
It
grab
would
that
be
corner
tough
maybe by the Z.
if he can attack right at it.
Well, instead bunches him, kind of pushes him up to the left. That right side of the hole is open. If he can sneak it in, chance at a couple here.
Cut around the side is what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, trying to cut it and sneaks it in on the right side. What a shot by Jacob Trzcienski, and they are 1 point away.
Jacob Trzcienski on the biggest stage in the biggest moment right now. Hitting the cut to stay in the center, go in, sits on 20. That bag barely moved.
All the headlines that we've talked about over the last 48 hours and coming into this matchup. Mark Richards, right? In the matchup with Justin Burton Jr., 2 of the top players in the world. And right now it's Tony Smith and Jacob Trzcienski with the chance of their first national victories.
And that bag is short. It's not out of play, but it's shorter. You gotta go after it. You gotta work for it.
Yep, Tony's drops, he's sitting right in front of the hole. Just the second bag for Mark, so still with time and just kind of pushes the pile a little bit forward. Sometimes they'll clog.
Oh, and he pushes them all in. He likes that better.
And sits right in front, Trey, with that V block. Will it work in deflecting Mark's bag, or will he go through it, just pushes right through it? What a shot.
Unbelievable by Mark Richards. Such a clinical shot at this point with so much on the line. And this bag must be in, or Smith and Trzcienski win it.
Has to be in.
And it is. Clutch shots and a crafty round by Mark Richards. Whoa. Oh, Shelby can't stand it.
She is absolutely beside herself over there. Big first bag here by Trzcienski.
Mark's handling it better than she is right now. She even said as much. It's harder for her. Lopez deep into the right. Oh, and Trzcienski now is going to step back. An opportunity here.
He knows it.
Yeah, and he knows it.
4-bagger wins a national title. There's one. He needs 2 more, Jeff.
Lopez has just got to try and stay down the middle here and at least give himself a chance. Off to the right, but playable.
That's not out of play. He may have an airmail drag opportunity for a win.
Lopez sneaks it in. Oh, that was a big shot.
What will Trzcienski do? He decides not
My
to
bad.
go with the drag, and now this
Oh my
has to
God, how do
be
I
in by
think?
Lopez Jr.
My bad, bro.
Final bag. Lopez on the way and just falls in.
That bag stopped for a second. I mean, that bag was being held up, and it just dripped in. Watch this
Incredible
again.
scene here in Erie. Watch this again.
Watch this bag. What happens? It stops. It stops there, and then it falls. Oh my goodness gracious. Bag in.
How do you fire these bags 30 feet into a hole at this point? With the crowd, the lights on national TV, the nerves, and that one misses deep. Another opportunity this time for Tony.
Now Tony Smith has his opportunity at a 4-bagger, wins it.
No, I missed.
There's his second, and he's off to the left.
Took a timeout.
So much pressure. Second bag, right down the middle for Mark.
That's unbelievable.
Now Tony Smith has got to reset.
The crowd here literally on the edge of their seats. In.
Not bad, boy.
Mark with the answer.
And now will Tony Smith go for an airmail for the win, or will he just try to slide it in?
Looks like he's going to go for the slide. He does. Rattles it
feeling
in, and again,
Wasn't
must
feeling
be in.
Gotta be in.
Spins it, and it's right down the middle. No doubt about it. And we'll go another round.
We got 1 timeout left? All right.
Second national of 4 here this summer in the American Cornhole League. And what a weekend it has been. So interesting. Mark Richards and Phillip Lopez wearing their earbuds, but Trzcienski and Tony Smith can hear everything right
Yes, every sound on this stage.
now. Every whisper, every bang of the bag on the board.
In for a 4-bagger for Trzcienski to again put the pressure on Lopez.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Gets it. I don't think he
Miss
liked it
this
when it first
bag,
left his hand.
please.
Lopez needs to be in and bangs it off the backside.
3 straight rounds where the last bag had to be in.
Back to Tony Smith and Mark Richards. The singles championship, or the doubles championship rather, for these 4 players. Singles earlier went to Alex Rawls, his first national victory. Tony Smith and Jacob Trzcienski looking for the same. Trying to notch that first national title.
Whatever happens, Jeff, one of the best games in doubles I have ever watched, no doubt.
Spins it in and right through Mark's bag. And now we're down to the final bag here for each player again. Got it. And again, all the pressure on Mark. So steady and right down the middle.
This is unbelievable.
I think one of the most amazing shots we've seen all weekend is that bag that stopped and then went in. That was amazing.
Jeff,
literally hanging on the edge.
We have entered round number 36 of this game.
And look at this. A level 1 block right in front of the hole. And now this is going to change the entire dynamic as Lopez pushes him up, goes side by side.
He pushes behind it.
Lopez taking a long look at it, trying to stretch it out, asking about the timeout situation. All right, Trey, what do you see here? What do you do in this situation?
He's going to take one of his only 2 remaining timeouts.
I mean,
What
JT,
do I
that's
see?
pretty good shot, right?
So
You know what you need to do?
I want to listen to see what they say
I don't want
first.
to shoot this, man. Okay, if you block it, he's going to have open airmail.
To drag.
Right. They're at 20, so that makes a difference. Okay.
Both teams.
If I miss the airmail, though, all they need is
I
a
know.
point.
What do you? So you like blocking first?
I mean, I don't know what I want. That's why I want to take a timeout.
I
Airmail.
like shooting it. I
Okay.
believe in you, dog.
Airmail.
Okay.
Got it.
Whatever
Airmail.
happens, happens. You shoot it with confidence, okay?
Airmail.
Let's go, kid.
He's shooting an airmail. He is shooting an airmail.
Incredible trust and confidence that Mark Richards just placed in Phillip Lopez. That conversation started. The first words out of Phillip's mouth, I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to shoot it, he said.
Yeah.
And Mark has given him that confidence.
That is the last timeout for Lopez Jr. and Richards.
He's taken a second timeout. Now he is out of timeouts.
Little song change here for Lopez. Trying to get the feel. You see 35 seconds left in his timeout. He doesn't like it.
He is taking his time. I
Yeah.
give him credit.
Boy, we haven't seen this since the World Championships last August. This amount of pressure and stress, tension on one bag. He is going to go after it, and he's able to clip the pile and puts one in for JT. But now Phillip's got a couple bags in the front of the hole now.
We used all the timeouts, so we got to go quick.
Trzcienski rolls it on top, but it won't go in.
Yeah, and Phillip can't wait too much time here.
Board showing 5-2 right now, advantage for Jacob Trzcienski.
And he knocks him all. And now you can push one in, you go in. He only needs one in.
Shot clock winding down on Jacob Trzcienski.
He's still got a timeout left. He's got a timeout left.
Yep.
He's got one left.
So they're going to take the timeout on what is going to be
I just
Jacob
gotta go in.
Trzcienski's last bag.
More timeouts remain in the match.
I'm not sure JT realizes what's in and what's out right
I'm just
now.
trying to go in the hole. All right, yeah, I can feel more comfortable out and then going
I
in.
almost had a panic attack. I thought we had no timeouts.
Tony Smith. Oh, this is in. One bag in, and you win a national.
Final bag.
And
Stops
now
just short.
Lopez has to hit an airmail drag and not take anything. Plain and simple. Airmail drag that doesn't take anything.
Has to be clean. Is there enough room on that backside? Goes way up top and hits it!
What?
Are you kidding me, Phillip Lopez?
What?
Jacob Trzcienski and Tony Smith cannot believe what they just saw.
With all the pressure, a national on the line, you gotta go without it. It's hanging. How in the world?
And quickly they have to refocus and move on to the next round. 20-19. Phillip and Mark on the brink of elimination twice now. Remember the bag that stopped and then continued to fall. And then the backside airmail. I mean, what is going on right now? Magic for Lopez.
These guys, every bag.
And now really both teams have to be perfect. There is barely any margin of error, and Tony gets it to just slide it on the right side.
That had to be in, and it was.
And now back down to the other end where it has been so tense.
Phillip Lopez, the hero of the bag to stay alive, now has first bag here.
In front of the hole again. Again, that V block action, so critical, trying to deflect your opponent left or right.
Trzcienski takes center.
Board showing 4-4 here at the moment.
Gotta push it up.
He's rolling on top, and he sits perfectly.
All right, still even now. 5-5 is what the board is showing. Final bag. Oh, this side has been so intense.
Yeah. And now Jacob Trzcienski in
No roll?
for the win.
He's asking for a roll. Tony's saying just board it.
And he listens.
Well, he wanted to, but again, this is where the new shot clock rules kind of come into play. You don't have a whole lot of time to think about it.
What a game.
The reaction on the face of Jacob Trzcienski and Tony Smith was priceless when Lopez hit that shot. Complete disbelief.
Their reactions? You mean my reaction?
Yours was good too.
I thought there was no way. No way.
Oh, gets deflected off to the right, and now an opportunity for Tony with 2 bags left.
These 2 bags in the hole, and the game is over. There's
Spins it
one.
in.
Essentially, this bag has to be in by Richards.
Will these be the last bags thrown?
One of the biggest and best games I've ever witnessed. A slide shot for the win for Tony Smith.
On the way, and he banks it in! An epic matchup here in Erie, and Tony Smith, Jacob Trzcienski win it. It's their first national titles.
An unbelievable game that we will talk about for years to come.